Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yo, what's up? Tom and Dan Wake Up Club. Get your coffee pot on. Get your toaster strudel in the toaster. Get your Pop-Tart. Or if you're my daughter, extra sharp cheese, Cabot only, 3 eggs, black pepper. That's the Maisie Dennis eggs. Good morning, everybody. How are you? How are you? We have a really good friend of the show on today for a weird job. Let me give some love to everybody while we're waiting for him. And make sure everything's working correctly. That looks pretty good. SJ was first in here, but he always is. Thank you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, too. I am. I'm not nauseous anymore, so I'm good. I'm not nauseous no more. Remember that guy?
Is it a chance I have an old Zoom link? This is the one I saved.
No, he just popped in.
Oh, he's in there. Okay.
He just popped in. There he is. He looks so good with his perfect hair. Who's got the better swoop, you or Logan? Who is the better swoopy do?
He's better.
You think his swoopy do is better?
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hear us, but he looks amazing.
That's not really a swoop.
No, he's got almost like Gen X. Cool dude. He does look cooler than both of us. Up.
I do.
Recording in progress.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
What's
What's up?
Hey, I knew you were going to sound like $1 million. You always do. Hey, thank you for taking the time to do this. We know you're a super busy guy.
I got it, man. It's I'm excited. There you go. Now I can see. I couldn't see you there for a second. I'm excited to do this. I've been listening. I've been back.
Well, this guy's been, you've been with us since day one, right?
Yeah. I have been listening in some form. I was thinking about this morning. So I was like 15 when I probably started listening to y'all, and I'm in some way, and now I'm 40. So it's been some time.
You don't look 40. He does not look 40. You and Tom hold your age really well. Me, not so much.
Well, 40 is a big difference than 50. It's that middle, like right in the middle.
Do you see what he does to me? Do you see? He didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
He knows.
He just told us the next 10 years is going to be pretty rough.
It's natural bullying, though. No, he
hip
knows.
Replacements.
He knows 50 is the one I'm sitting on, and he naturally bullies me.
Yeah. But you make the choice to look old. Like
I do.
Logan can grow his hair out like he's been on a deserted island and let it go gray, and he will look older. But
I'll go full Castaway,
yeah. That's what Daniel did.
Well, let's not waste his time. All right, you good to go?
Yeah.
You want to start?
Sure.
And I got the little thing. All right, here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Come hang out, be a part of the chat room. Just search for @TomandDan Live. I got to say something. Today's the first day I really feel okay.
All right.
Today is the first day. There's a reason that I think they give you like a certain you're going to feel bad. It's the nausea.
Okay.
From all the medication that you take with these hip, I always say hip transplant. It's not a hip transplant replacement. With the hip replacement, it's all the pills.
Yeah.
It's too many pills. It's just
they don't even give you
much.
good pills.
No, tramadol. They gave me tramadol. Anyway, but I feel great today, and what a great coincidence that on the first day that I feel like really, really good, we have one of my absolute favorite people is our Weird Job guest, and I'm like super excited about this.
All right. Let's do some Weird Job.
Okay, do you want to do? I did a quick one. Because I do think it's his weirdest job. It's a quickie though.
Okay.
Really fast. I haven't even heard this. It may not even work. Here we go.
Yo, a teenage Christian talk show host.
It's our buddy Logan. And his weirdest job was teenage Christian talk show host, right? Would you agree that?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's one of them. I've had a lot of weird jobs. I mean, we were talking about this off air before. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Because, yeah, my first job was working at Nickelodeon, and I was an intern there.
Yes.
And as all Christian television does, is they're like, hey, that guy is, because I was sort of like an intern, maybe how like Tom or any of your guys on the old shows were the intern who they put on the air and they'd do silly stuff, and it was fun. I had a great time. But Christian television, they were like, oh, that guy's on television, let's give him a show. So I got to do a fun late night talk show. Yeah, it's going on like 20 years now. We did that show, but it still comes up, and it was a lot of fun. And it was weird. I think we were a little too early because like social media, like MySpace was just kind of happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I think if we were like 10 years later, we would have been able to build a pretty cool audience. But we were on at like 1 o'clock in the morning on Christian television.
But
it was a small but devoted audience.
Logan, can you speak on for a second the labor that it must have been to do the show? It was called The Logan Show.
Yeah.
And can you talk about the labor it must have been to do it? Because if you go back and you can go back and find episodes, and there's a pocket like most things. No, dude, it was so high quality for the time. Like you guys took everything seriously. You had a real you had a real writers team. He'd do a real monologue. He was the host of the show, like no different than Jay Leno, Johnny Carson. He'd invite the creme de la creme Christian artist on to perform the music.
Okay.
So it was not a BS. It was so high quality that when you approached, and I think I met you maybe about the time you were doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so crazy, unique, and cool that no one was doing it. No, it is. That's why I put it top tier. Weird job is that teenage organic. I'll throw that in there because it's almost like it just kind of found its way to you and you found its way to it. Yeah. Teenage organic Christian talk show host that's done at top tier level. Like if you go back and watch this, can you name some of the artists that you had on at the time that performed on your show?
I mean, at the time, like you look at it, like band like Need to Breathe or someone like that would come on before they popped. It was their first TV debut. In the Christian world, we had Toby Mac, who was in DC Talk, and a lot of these big names that would come in. Weird country ones, Lone Star would show up because it became this sort of, I've learned this. I'm still
Lone
working
Star,
in that.
Goodbye says it all. That's them, right?
Yeah.
That's
a
great
song.
song.
Lone Star when they had replaced the lead singer, so it was like the B-level Lone Star.
Yeah, and Lone Star went through a phase where they got rid of the main guy, and it was like Lone Star new Lone Star.
I remember Cracker Barrel paid for them to be on. And it was my favorite. Like, we didn't have many sponsors, but my favorite one was that Cracker Barrel gave me, and I don't even think they paid. They just gave me like a gift box of Cracker Barrel nonsense.
Because you're a kid. Let's talk about that for a second too. Like, because you.
How old were you, Logan, when you were doing this?
So I started the show when I was 18. So I was 18 to like 22-ish. We were doing that show, and it was interesting because Dana brought up we were very different in the sense that we would pound through these episodes and we would shoot 4 at a time. Not unlike what you guys do now, but it was like 4 at a time. I think, my girlfriend who became my wife at the time hated shoot dates because I was just like a miserable human being to be around because we do these really intense production days. But we do these shows, and then eventually I think that the industry, the Christian television industry, just started shifting. They didn't love that we were kind of fun and silly and over the top.
You were edgy.
And not like preachy.
Yeah.
And then some people didn't love that, and then we maybe took it like one step too far, and like one network kicked us off because they were like, what is this? Like, because we did a whole season where the show got canceled, but we did deals with like Disney brought us out, and like we did all these big promotions. It was really a lot of fun, and like what you said, it was a great time. And then it's led to just a weird career in all forms of, I guess you'd say, entertainment. I mean, the weirdest one, I think, if I go to weird jobs, the weirdest one I think is that for a year, I owned a professional minor league basketball team. And that one to me, of the ones I think of that I can't believe I did, that is the one that I go, like, kind of what were we thinking?
Yeah.
Other than it was fun. But I've been through so many different things. I run a newspaper. I now own a magazine.
Yeah, he owns a magazine now. I wasn't even going to get into that. But then didn't you own and revive a comic?
Yeah. So after you guys were in a movie I made, so I was supposed to be a filmmaker, and what I learned and what I've learned with all my weird jobs is that there are certain things that either I love and I have to really focus in on it, but there are things like we made the movie that you guys were so graciously in,
as dreamers do. It was a great movie.
As dreamers do. It's been like 12 years since we made that movie. What I learned making that movie was I don't know if I really like making movies. It was fun. We had a good time, but it was so brutal. Especially on the independent level. It took me like another decade to make another movie. And that time, then I learned again, I don't know if I really like making movies because it was, again, another brutal experience. But we did, what I've learned in sort of the endorphin hit of it is I found out, I think you guys probably could speak to that too, is like when now some of this stuff I do, it's like this, where it could be released tonight or immediately, or we can do that. As I get very much the same rush clicking publish or going on a YouTube video that I did like when we put out a movie. And not that it's less work, but it's certainly different kind of stress on your body and different stress on your family. And you're not working a year at it, hoping it hits, and then it bombs, and then you're like, okay, well now I got to start over and figure this out. So I realized like I enjoy just releasing content to people and really sort of the human story of it, so much so that I told Tom that after this, I'm interviewing the astronaut that was stuck in space. And I go, well, that would never have happened in any sort of other world where I wasn't putting out content, because it goes, man, that's so cool that I get to spend time with someone who there should be no connection where I know the astronaut that was stuck in space.
Yeah.
But now he's going to be sitting here, and it's just cool.
That is cool. No, so, Logan, there's a lot to unpack here.
So many questions, especially for Tom. And you know how we operate because you do listen. So they're gonna try to keep this.
I do. Look, I've put in the reps, as they say.
Yeah. This guy is a reps man. Like I would contend that you could put Logan up as a man of reps, another man of reps. Look how many reps. There's somebody in the chat room. I think it was Christine. Was like, look at the media reps that Logan has. The lighting, the delivery, the content, all the stuff that he's done since he was 18 years old. My God,
it's the magic mind, man. You got to take a magic mind.
By the way, I really do, like, if you talk about what I'll get the most fulfillment out of my career or when I'm retired from this, is the fact that we do have a wide spectrum of listeners, and I do get fulfillment out of that. And like, because I understand why the DeBerry Joes of the show listen to our show, that makes total sense.
You can't wrap your head around the Logan.
But the Logan, and every once in a while we'll get doctors and other people who are successful. And I'm like, what the hell? Not that DeBerry Joe's not successful, but you know what I'm saying.
I love DeBerry
even
Joe.
Even Joe, as he's listening
so
to
the show's
this,
for Joe, it's not for Low.
well, that's the one I'm just confused about.
Joe, not Low. Yeah.
But so, Logan, let's go back to owning a minor league basketball team. So first, how the hell does that even happen? And second, where do you even start once you sign the paperwork?
Yeah, well, getting to signing any paperwork in minor league basketball is a pretty uphill battle. So it legitimately was, I think we saw an ad for a team, and we went to a game, and that team, and it was for a league called the ABA, which it's like a spinoff of what was the old ABA. It still exists. Now, I will tell you, we didn't end up going with them. If you start Googling, there's a lot of interesting things about the ABA, because you can essentially just pay a very small franchise fee. They give you a team, I guess, and then you have to figure it out from there. And we've learned that in that world. So we got
that's a pyramid scheme, Logan. That's
really, look, if there's an investigative documentary to be done, it may be on this league.
Okay.
And I enjoyed talking to the guys, so I got like no bad blood with the guys who we talked to. I don't want them. I feel like they're interesting characters. But like, there's a team now in Nashville, and I want to go to the game and enjoy it. The basketball is actually pretty high, but I'm a basketball fan, but a huge Orlando Magic fan.
Yeah.
I got scammed out of tickets, Daniel. I didn't get to go to a game.
Yeah. We were trying to go together take our families to go, but he got scammed on Stomo or whatever.
Which doesn't happen that often. It was like the only time. So we went to the Osceola game, and then I almost got in a fight with the owner of the Magic. Whole thing happened.
The owner of the who? The Magic?
The owner of, okay, I'll tell you the story. Why not? So I was at the Osceola Magic game. Probably the guys listening. I had a great time, by the way. We loved it. And I love the Orlando Magic. I've been a fan since I was a kid. And I bought courtside seats because it's the Osceola Magic. I'm like, let's go front row.
Yeah.
And we get there, and the owner of one of the DeVos, the owner of the Magic, is in our seats. And I don't really know what to do in this scenario, and the usher did not know it was him. So there's like a point of contention that happens between the owner of the Magic and this usher, and then me and my son, who are just like, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
So much so that like the nice vice president comes over. He's like, we're going to handle this right now. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm just going to take care of you guys. We're going to move you somewhere else.
That is vice president voice you were using right there. That was a good vice president.
He was just he was trying to bring the tone down in the room because it was getting a little intense between the usher and the owner of, not the Osceola, of the Orlando Magic.
Oh my God.
The ownership group. And it was another one of these stories that happens. But for the minor league side, I got connected with a league out of Atlanta. It was the guy that wrote "Da Dip."
Okay. The song?
The song, I'll put your hand upon your hip.
When I dip, you dip, we dip.
We
Tom didn't know what was happening. I speak fluent, the dip.
Well, the dip
when
could be a lot
I just up in Atlanta, so that's why.
I just pretend to know current events. I'm like, okay.
The dip, I know, yeah.
I know that when you dip, we dip song.
That's it. So he wrote "Da Dip," and I can't even tell you his name now. And we got a team here in Nashville, and couple things that I learned is we actually ran, I think, a good team. There's another team out of Orlando that's still there, the Florida Flight. I got to give some love to them. They have been running for, now probably 15 years, and they've been doing a good job. So and a lot of times they play before the Magic. You can get like a double ticket. So that's just my plug for them. Nothing.
Florida Flight. Guys. Shout out Florida Flight.
Nice guys. And you should have him on. He's got a wild job Wednesday that would be, because he's been in professional basketball at a minor league level for a long time, and he's a rapper. But and he's a good guy. But then what I learned with that one was that I don't really want to do jobs where you're reliant on another, like that was reliant on the other team. And in the minor league basketball world, teams just don't show up, or they call you like an hour before and are like, we can't get there. Sorry, guys. And they're, and now you're trying to figure out because you've sold tickets, people there.
Yeah.
So much so that we had to have a fake backup team. It was like the Nashville All-Stars that our team would play if they didn't show up.
So you had an emergency team. So they were as reliable as a Volusia County pressure washer, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was right. Like sometimes we like sub other players in. We'd have random because of my connections with the music industry, random like performers would come and play on these teams because there's nothing you do. So the business structure of it was just horrendous. It wasn't our lack of trying. It was that you were reliant on all these other teams who had really not that much, because of how cheap it is to get a franchise.
Sure.
They didn't have that much financial interest in it, nor were they making very much money, if making money at all.
And correct me if I'm wrong, though. It sounds like, though, you being the creative, not to go back to the TV show, but you're looking at this and you're like, this is unacceptable. We have to have a backup team that I can push in here. That way,
on a show.
That way we're putting on a show. And then you realize for a split second, you're like, oh, my God, I've created the Harlem Globetrotters in Nashville because I have a real team that is a fake team with a fake team that has to be there to keep the real team playing.
Right. And after a season of that, we were just kind of like, we can't do it. And again, then later on I got into professional wrestling, so I don't know why this happened, but I realized that we were also, one of our players like nearly died on the court. And from a medical emergency.
Oh,
and I started going, and they're paid very little. And, it's not a high-end job to be a minor league basketball player. A lot of them play overseas and they come back. Yeah. And I realized, like, man, I don't really want to be in the business of this either, where, like, people's lives are in my hands in some weird way, where I'm, like, visiting a professional basketball player who's 7 foot tall in the hospital. And it's like, I'm like, what am I doing
Billy
here? Like,
Crystal's business. I'm not doing
the team's
that.
not working out with, I was like, we got to. After a year, I was pretty much done with that one. As much as it was fun, and I miss, like I said, the show. Like, my wife was the mascot. She dressed up in a big owl costume. Like, it was a blast.
How did you get her to do that? Because she's a very fancy woman. Why would you do that to her?
She is a fancy lady, but she is a very creative, interesting. She was the high school mascot.
Okay, so she's got roots
loves
there.
Mascots.
Gotcha.
So that's one of her things. So she was very excited to be the mascot. So I didn't have any convincing. She ran the mascot program. Oh, another one. I got to connect you with, I know Toro, the Texans mascot.
Oh, yeah.
He's one you got to have on.
Absolutely. We would love to talk to Toro. Yeah, that's a legendary
man.
That's a legendary mascot. So
he's like the top mascot. So I've done that, do everything else, and I'm I'm just happy to be here and talking to you guys.
Well, you
That's
jumped
more
on
fun for me.
something quickly, and I want to rewind a little bit because this is because I want to. We just highlighted something that may have been like you could frame it as like maybe not as successful as you wanted it to be, but something that I will say, I think got more popular than you even thought it would be, and what happened to it. Can you go back to the wrestling a little bit? Didn't that explode pretty huge for you, and almost did it become a problem because it became very big? The wrestling, because didn't you have links to like streaming on that?
Yeah, we did a deal. Again, I'm in media, so like there's between the stuff that you see me do, like I produce and direct, and we do a lot of different video content, and I have a lot of weird connections. And at the time, I was down actually at WrestleMania in Orlando with my son. I guess this was like 2017, 2018, and I just started noticing kind of this bubble up that was happening in the indie side of wrestling, where it wasn't everyone going to WWE. Like I was going to a show and everyone else was going to Ring of Honor to go see the Young Bucks and to see these other people that were happening. And I kind of took notice. Everyone's wearing Bullet Club merch. I was like, what is this? And I kind of did my digging, realized Ring of Honor, who I had a connection with their parent company, was doing this. And we had just built our new studio here. And I was like, oh man, it'd be cool to run sort of we had done a deal with Amazon where you could get pretty much any of the content we wanted. And you still can do this, by the way. Pretty much anyone can. You get a deal with Amazon, put your content on Prime. No one really had done a bingeable wrestling program. And I had all these interesting connections with pro wrestling. So we did a deal with Ring of Honor and created this show that it was almost like Mortal Kombat. Like you'd work your way up a ladder and battle it out.
Yeah, it reminded me of the other one that was more Spanish and like more Lucha
Underground.
Lucha Underground.
Okay,
it was almost like a Mortal Kombat thing. But you also wasn't yours a little more family friendly? Like Lucha was disgusting.
Totally
people
friendly.
spitting blood and there's like incest and rape.
I remember talking to the guys. Yeah. And we brought in some pretty hardcore guys. Like one of the top guys we had was Joey Janela, who was famous for like jumping off roofs and doing crazy stuff.
Sure.
But we gave him the opportunity to be himself, but to be presented in a really kind of like we did with Logan show stuff. I wanted to present these new talent that I was seeing in these small, tiny shows. I wanted to present them in a way that looked legit. So then hopefully they could get more career. They could broaden their career. And if you look at now who's the top stars in some of WWE and AEW, you're talking about MJF, who was just in Happy Gilmore too. Yeah. One of his first things was on our show. And same with, I got Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints in NXT. Yep. You have Swerve Strickland. A lot of these, Jeff Cobb, who's now in the WWE, who's now Jeff, I forget he has a different name now, but he's in a version of the Bloodline. We kind of struck, I don't know what you say. That feels like a Tom Dan moment. Struck lightning in a bottle.
Exactly.
You can just say Tom moment. I understand.
No, I come along for the ride.
Bottle, guys. And it was really hard. Yeah. And then, some of the other work that I do, professional wrestling is very interesting. They got a very loud group of fans who are all online, and the online crowd can get pretty territorial. They can also kind of rip you apart. And there was a little while there where I guess you could say got like soft canceled for nothing for the fact that we presented this show. A lot of the content I do is not political. It's not religious. There was nothing in it that would have been offensive to anyone in it. It was very family. But because I've done Christian content, because I've done content that has some political leanings, they were like, it was enough. And it was weird. The professional wrestling crowd, especially at that time, could get pretty rough. But the actual business people were great. I have some of my closest friends are in the world of pro wrestling.
That's cool, man.
That one I wanted to do again, and I
thought you were, right?
Yeah, it was successful. Like we were going to do it again. The truth of it, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the big ones was because we had this crazy roster of people that within a year had all gotten signed, had all gotten huge contracts and become really household names in professional wrestling. If you look at our top 12, I'd say probably 10 out of 12 went on to do huge, I mean, the biggest companies in the world. And then AEW started, and they kind of, which I love those guys, but they hired pretty much everyone, and then they kind of went through and hired everyone who was popping on the indies. And then they even bought Ring of Honor later on. So it was kind of like, okay, this is another one of these projects where I go, okay, is this really where we want to go? What does the future look like? And it's another one that I sat there in the moment, 10 years after I did the basketball going, someone gets hurt and you go, what am I doing to myself? I'm putting myself in another job where these guys are like going to get hurt and injured. Now in pro wrestling, they're pretty cool about it. If you get hurt, it's kind of the nature of the business. but there is a part of my mind being like, I'm going to get sued for
Right.
everything.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
a lot. It's a lot of moving parts, and human moving parts are different than just regular multiple
and like
moving
some of
parts.
these guys, like we had James Storm, who's a good friend. He's a cowboy. He could legit, when he hit the ropes, he would move the ring, which was like tons, like physical tons.
Yeah, he's a
And
big
he
man.
would move it.
Yeah.
And I was like, so we have to reset the ring because of how strong these guys are. It was wild.
So, Logan, as you tell us about all these experiences and these jobs that you had, I'm thinking of what category to put you in my mind that kind of encompasses everything. And I came up with something. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like ever since you got into the entertainment industry as a teen, you kind of have figured out, okay, I could be a good producer. Right, and the producer is very broad, but I would put you in the category of producer because, like, you're looking at all these different experiences and then things like opportunities that come across your desk, and you're like, how can I make this into content to produce, to put out into the world, and hopefully monetize? Obviously, that's
the goal.
That's the goal. But
I mean, that's the point. I guess at the end of the day.
So I kind of put you in that category. Would you say that is kind of correct?
Yeah, I'd say that that's probably right. I'm probably a producer at this point because of the amount of content I've put out. I mean, even like the basketball team, we did the basketball games, but my thing was we shot it for television and we put it on the local CW station, sold advertisement within it, and would promote the games. Like there was always an extra element. I'm also like a big fan of pop culture and nostalgia, so I have a tendency to like look for things that I feel like have some value beyond maybe what's happening currently in business. Like one of the things my wife and I just took over, it was a Christian music magazine, that essentially like the Rolling Stone of Christian music. It had been around since 1978. So you have this like insane archive. If you're a fan of that kind of music, I have the archive of archives of pretty much everything that's ever happened from 1978 until today. Now, the last decade or 2 decades, it was kind of existed, but existed in a way that was more just putting out press releases. It was one guy, he was a good guy, but just they weren't taking it that seriously.
Right.
And I'm like, I saw the value in it. We acquired it and have relaunched, and we've quadrupled probably 400 times the amount of people that are going to the YouTube channel and are doing those things. So I'm always trying to learn too. And look, I'll look back on what you guys did. I mean, and you guys were great sounding boards in the podcasting world too for me. I guess I grew up listening in the mornings. I went to Full Sail. I was a teenager. That's where I got introduced to what you guys were doing. And I loved it. And I thought, this is so much fun. And it was so much fun to even listen. And the fact that I'm on, terrestrial radio now in the Orlando market right now, talking to you guys is wild. And of course the podcast world too, because it really was, I try to always, I use the example. I'll be honest, like I've used the example when we would launch a new project. I often will pull up on YouTube, and I know this sounds crazy, but like when you guys would perform at something like a Hard Rock Live and the band would play, because I go, I don't think you can understand how a local community can react until you look back on what happened when you guys were doing that show, and we're doing it in a way that, for no reason was there a band that made sense that you guys were playing in based on the show that was on, and the fact that you could see this production and there was 5,000 people going to this kind of comedy rock show with wrestling, and it all kind of tied together. And I go, that's such a unique moment in time. But I do think there's still, and I love what you guys do now, because I still think there's still that interest in local content. So I still have that too. And like, it may be local differently. Like it still can be like we were doing Christian music. Like it still can be just sort of offshoot. It doesn't have to always be this big net. It can still be, we're trying to really utilize a smaller group of people who are very passionate and give them, put on a show. And man, we connected the first time I probably was doing the shows. Man, how many times I drug my parents to a monster ween.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I do have to. I gotta give it up to the or give it to the higher ups at Clear Channel back in those days for even allowing that to happen. Because if I was a boss, I'm like, I'm not letting these rednecks do nothing. They're all pain pills.
And it was all ages. I don't think I should have been there.
No, you absolutely should not have been there, Logan.
I can't let this fool jump a monster truck or the risk of like this guy Tuttle. He's smoking his.
Well, he's a drug addict. What are you talking about?
They're all drug addicts.
He's a reform.
I made my parents dropped me off at some random parking lot to get a no arena sticker from Tuttle. I remember.
Oh yeah, he's probably naked.
Like during the Phillips File days, like I remember these weird. Like, why was that? Like the fact that all happened. I mean, you guys say, yeah, sure, these are all weird jobs. We all have weird jobs, but the amount of facets that's got in, whether you're, jumping monster trucks or playing for the Predators, and then I'm watching the Olympics, and they're like, their dad was the coach of the Solar Bears. I'm like, this is a wild world. And Orlando seems to always be this like nucleus of it.
We're an interesting place for sure.
So Logan, because there's so much to ask you about. I know that you've got to go in a little bit here, but I want to ask you about. I got to ask you about going to the Punk Rock Hall of Fame and then getting the tour with Fat Mike and El Jefe, because all of a sudden, like, Logan texted us the other day, and then. Also, you got to explain to us, because the audience, I'm sure they're putting it together like, oh, Logan does a lot with the Christian media world, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden now mixing that in. Mixing that in no effects.
But that's how I grew up, man. Just for a second, I think one of the reasons why, I have to say this because it's been sitting on the tip of my tongue. I think one of the reasons why Logan and I connected, honestly, is because Logan and what he did when he was a teen doing the Christian talk show host and all of that was sort of the brand of Christianity. And you don't really see it very much now, but that's how I was raised. Like, you could, with my mom, you knew my mom.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a Christian and worship and do all of this stuff, and she did, and then also have this other side of you where I was like, I love punk rock, and I love normal things, and I'm a normal person. I don't have to not listen to that.
I like punk rock. I like the gays.
Yeah, my mom kind of picked and chose that sort of thing, and I know some people get, like, really mad about that, but that's why I think because I'm like, oh, yeah, he's a Christian talk show host. Well, no, he can't like Fat Mike then. Well, why can't he? Why? Who?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Fat Mike would love me, but
but that's not fair. It doesn't work that way.
So how the hell did that happen? Because when you
the short story of that is, they offered tickets, and it was supposed to be me and my brother and my best friend Will, who's been on this before.
Yeah, we love Will. Shout out to Will.
Yeah, Will, and we love NoFX. We love punk rock, and I love music and culture and media, pop culture. So like, I have very little barriers of anything. So even like you said, like growing up listening to Christian music and stuff, I would listen to everything. There was not much. I mean, I don't want to say there's no censorship. That sounds bad. It sounds like bad parenting. But like that wasn't like a conversation even. And the Christian punk rock scene also was huge in the 90s. Like that was sort of happening.
Do you remember Peter King's band?
Yeah.
The surfer
and
Peter.
Then there was like the MXPXs and all those started coming.
Yeah, there was a thing.
Those, you had to then also know like what else was happening. So I loved NoFX, and they announced that they were doing this. I'd been to the Punk Rock Museum once, which Fat Mike runs, and it's really cool. It was a great experience going through there, but it wasn't like a tour. And they announced we're doing this NoFX retrospective, and they sold 50 tickets or something to go get toured with Fat Mike and El Jefe. And it was a great experience. Wow. They did have to open it by saying like that they were currently suing each other. I think like Melvin is suing the rest of the band or suing Fat Mike. So there was like an awkward moment at the beginning. But other than that, it was a really great experience. And it was more or less like not going through the museum. Like I say, if you're going to go to the museum, go to the museum experience, because it was really cool. But if you're going to do one of those tours, no, it's more like it was like Fat Mike and El Jefe kind of doing stage banter as you wandered through this.
Gotcha.
Through the museum, and he would be like, oh, there's Operation Ivy. Here's a story. And then, oh, here's, this band. And remember we were on tour and this happened. But as a fan, it was the coolest thing ever. And they were right there. And I'm a huge fan. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that I respect so much that music, and I love it. And I didn't get to go to the farewell tour, unfortunately. So this was kind of like my version of going to the farewell tour. It didn't come close enough to me. Just the schedules never worked out to go. And I'd seen them a dozen times before. So it wasn't like I was, that heartbroken not to be able to go. But this was a cool like send off. Actually, I had like two NoFX. I went to NoFX at the House of Blues there for my bachelor party in 2008. Wow. So I drug a bunch of people who had no idea what they were getting themselves into to go see that. And then I have a broken nose that I still have, because this is one of my one things that sounds cool when I tell people. I have a broken nose I still have because I got kicked in the face from a stage diver in the pit at a NoFX show. So you know what? I feel pretty rock and roll in those moments.
That is pretty rock and roll.
So
I know.
I think Mike just wanted sympathy. That's why he talked about the lawsuit. He didn't need to say that.
So
I think he wanted you guys to feel bad for him the entire time.
Well, I mean, those moments, there are like the few celebrities that it's kind of like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to handle them in the situation.
you're in that
Weirdly, he's kind of one of them where I'm like, I mean, I'm like this close to him, and I'm like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to.
Well,
there's that.
you're in that world. Does it sour it a little bit for you, knowing that when they signed off on the end, and we knew it was the end, and is it? I mean, the fact that he did have to sort of preface by saying, "Hey, just so you know, Melvin from the band is suing us." Does that? I mean, you're a big fan. Tom's a huge fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
It bums me out. I do not.
Logan knows about lawsuits.
It definitely bums me out.
Yeah,
I want them to be best friends, forever.
Yeah.
And like in your head, that's how it is. Well, like that though, with so many bands. But yeah, it did feel like that, knowing that they had done that big, huge farewell, and then a day later, somehow. I mean, I have no idea what went down, and I'm not on anyone's side. I look forward to watching the movie that they're putting out. But it was a little bit of, it felt a little corporate maybe in that moment, but I didn't really mind. I mean, I had such a good time being there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it bums me out as a fan whenever that happens. It's like reading a book from Gene Simmons, and he's talking about fighting with Ace and Peter. Like there's a bit of you going, I just want you to be best friends. And,
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but Logan, huge Kiss fan. Mega Kiss
huge
fan.
Kiss. I can do. I love the razzle dazzle. I love the culture. I love pop culture and entertainment, and I can see it. And then in the other side of it, my kids love entertainment, and they love the opposite. Like I know that Maisie's a Casey Musgraves fan. My daughter is a huge fan. So like we'll go to those shows over and over again. So I'm going to NoFX, but on the other hand, I'm going to see Casey Musgraves 3 times in a year.
Yeah. You're in Nashville. That's an easy place to see her, I would imagine.
That's true.
So,
I didn't travel for him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So, Logan, let's end with what your job is now, because honestly, I couldn't even tell someone. If someone's like, "Hey, what does Logan do for a living?" I'm like, he directed a Dreamer Duo.
I do a few different things.
Yeah.
I say you own a magazine now. That's my go-to. I'm like,
that's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's an easy catch-all because it's kind of the content. So yeah, I own CCM Magazine, which is a website, YouTube channel. It's a multimedia thing. It's not a physical print magazine anymore. Again, if you have any interest in the world of Christian music, it's a great place to go to. Even if you don't. I mean, we just did a piece when Ozzy passed away, just sort of the spiritual implications of his story and everything that had kind of come. We were not exclusively just talking about like the latest, newest, Christian artists. And what I've actually, I kind of take some, pride is the wrong word in it, but I think if we feature it, I'm as a music fan, like as someone who's just a hardcore fan of the art form, that I feel like if we're featuring it in a heavy way, they're at least doing something new, or I think they're incredibly talented. And if you see our stamp of approval on it, even if you're not a fan of that style of music, because I've sent Daniel stuff that I'm like, man, this, I know that may not be what you're listening to on the daily, but this is a really great artist you should check out. There's great stuff coming up. I do other stuff too. We produce a lot of content. My wife is also doing a lot of content, and a couple of years ago she was doing a podcast, and we're still working on some brand new shows that are coming. So always creating stuff. And then, also the daily, if you flip around, you'll probably find me on something like, what was did you say with Jimmy with the Eagle? You probably find me on some talk show doing, talking, rambling about whatever's going on in the news and politics and that kind of thing. But, what's really our excited, project right now is the magazine. We've been doing it for about a year. Yeah. Relaunched it back in August.
The videos are great, man. Like
it's just a blast.
The video content that you're doing and taking a heralded brand, because I knew what it was when you bought it. I actually thought it was kind of cool that you because my mom, being a musician and also being a huge Christian, that magazine,
huge Christian.
She was a massively ginormous woman. But her magazine, but that is a magazine that she would have seen. That is something
it would have been around
that I knew of, because she was always trying to, and that's one of the hardest parts of Christian music from my mom's point of view, and growing up as the son of an organist, was she was always trying to do contemporary style music that she thought younger people. There's Will's in the background. What's up, buddy?
He's always here.
My mom was like, well, how do I get kids to like this? Because this music is old,
Yeah.
Onward, Christian soldier. Onward, Christian soldier.
Well, that's real old. You gotta
Marching on to war. It's like, come on, you can't be singing it. So she was always trying to find whether it was like puppets or whether it was handbells or rappers or DC Talk or Petra or my mom. Petra was a rock band, very heralded Christian rock band. Still are.
Just put out a new record that is oddly like there's like a pop punk song on it. I'll play it for you.
I'll check it out.
You know what? It's for what it is. It's their 55th year in existence or something like that. They put out some still pretty interesting rock and roll.
What about Stryper? My mom could.
Stryper's
I always tried to get my mom on board with Stryper, which is probably. Would you agree? Stryper's probably the best example of hard rock Christian music.
Yeah, I mean they founded it.
Couldn't get mom on board. She just
I
too
could
hard
see
for her.
why.
Too hard
they
for
were
her.
like they were too close to what was going on. I mean, they were black and yellow spandex, and they still do.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. And if they come to town, they put on one of the best shows you'll ever see if you like hair metal. And nice guys, but the same kind of thing where, man, a lot of these people have very long careers, but when we took over the magazine, it's been just diving into the archives, finding out artists that are really interesting, or finding ones that then went on to do so much other things, or this artist then influenced, like there's all these connections to this music that was happening in Australia, and then how it influenced like Coldplay and other artists that grew up sort of in the church and then figured out their own kind of music. A lot of it your wife listens to, Andrea listens to, or listened to too as a kid. So, we've all connected in that. I think that's what draws our connection to all of it. Sure, I love what's going on currently, but there's some really cool stuff. So that's my my plug there. And hey, one of the guys in DC Talk, Kevin, he's living in Orlando right now. He's got a show coming up in a couple weeks.
We should get him in here.
An art show. I'll have to send you the information. Y'all should all go check out Kevin Max's art.
I would love to do that.
He's something in the Milk District. I think he's doing it.
Yeah, he's a sweet man.
Awesome.
If you could help me connect with him, we should get him in here and talk to him because
he's an interesting guy.
Yeah,
I'll happily do it. I'll happily do it.
He's done some stuff. Logan, man, thank you so much for talking to us, man. You're the best. We love chatting with you.
Great talking to you. Again, I appreciate you putting us in your movie back in the day as Dreamers
That was
Do.
so fun.
It's the only movie I will probably ever be in. And
do your sons know?
Yeah, I did show my sons. Very unimpressed. And they also clowned me for being fat as hell. They're like, oh my God.
It was peak haircut, everything. It was ultimate time.
Well, you got us right at the beginning before we had any money.
I mean, Logan's a real director. He's like, no, get him before the change. Get him pre-haircut.
We got us. You got us when we were making $1,000 a month off the podcast and struggling.
I don't remember what he paid y'all, but I don't think it was all that much.
No, you treated us like, hold on.
You put us in two separate hotel rooms. You put us in two hotels. Like, what? This is I'm shuffling my feet on the carpet. I'm like,
you treated us like royalty, my man.
This is how movie stars live.
I felt guilty. I still feel guilty about it. I feel like I owe you thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know why they do this.
No, we only really did that for y'all. I think y'all probably ended up being paid as much as the lead.
We were the whole budget.
That guy is fine, but y'all do good. And I did love my favorites when they translated it in all the different languages and trying to see them do y'all's voices in Spanish and German and all the different ways.
It's pretty good.
We should play clips of that.
I'll get SJ to pull them all
Japanese.
Up. Yeah, I'll get SJ to grab them.
Yeah,
Logan,
I mean, now you can do that like automatically, but at the time, man, to have y'all speaking German was pretty hilarious.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money to pay for that.
They had to hire actors to go in there. I mean, that's what you got to think. There was a guy in a studio, headphones on, trying to match the performance.
Yeah,
that's my favorite visual.
That's crazy. That's crazy how all those jobs are gone now. Like everything, we get offers all the time to translate our entire podcast in every language.
As Dreamers do, at least it made some money because at the time, I mean, it got stocked in every Walmart DVD, gets stocked in every Walmart around the country. That does not exist anymore. So I feel like for the independent filmmakers, we were kind of living in the last gasp
barely
of this,
hit it.
golden era.
You did though, but you got it. Hey,
they
man,
were putting low budget movies on the bottom shelf at every Walmart.
You got to do it. You got to do
awesome.
it. And hey, we know you got an astronaut to attend to. So
yes.
Hey, best of will, love to the family. Thank you so much for the time, man. We appreciate you chatting with us. All right.
I'll see you guys next time.
I'll text you
Logan.
soon. See you, man. That's our buddy Logan, live from nice ass studio, right?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Come
on now.
Well, He's got a different background than we have. So
Educated background.
Well, that
pedigree, different pedigree than us ruffian street dogs. Are we street dogs?
Well, you start off with a couple of nickels to rub together. You're able to do something fancier, nicer, more legitimate.
Sometimes I think about what I would have done if my dad hadn't been a dumb bum. Can I say that? If my father had not been a dumb bum, I would have been a star.
Yeah. Well, my dad died.
Your dad really messed it up. God, one dumb bum and a dead guy. Great job, you idiot.
When we started, we have to literally start from
You
zero.
had nothing. I had a dumb bum.
If you start from something, God, you're able to get further.
Started at the something, now I'm here. You didn't even go anywhere.
Like, you try to get to Mars from the moon, you got a head start. For the swamp. Try to get there from the swamp.
Started at the something, now I'm here. Started at the something, I've always been here.
Try to get to Mars from the swamp. It's hard, way harder. I'm joking. Logan's an awesome dude.
That was a great weird job. You know, we could have. I kind of feel like we wasted him because we could have done.
I set that up like 2 months ago because the guy's so busy.
Busy guy. He's a super busy guy. That magazine he's doing is no BS. What he's doing is he's going back and finding, I'll give you an example. He's going back and finding, he may or may not have done this, but I'll give you an example. He'll go back and find like Stephen Curtis Chapman, another Christian artist from back in the day. Like if they have anything or old interviews of that guy, he'll dig it up and then represent it online in this music form for Christians. It works because that's very popular right now, and he's reactivated it, and he's doing it like top tier, really high quality.
Dude, I didn't want to say it when we were on with Logan because I didn't want to come off as disrespectful. But
just so you know, I'm an atheist.
No.
And vegan.
I want to get that Christian money.
I do too. I told you this yesterday, dude.
Yeah, but you.
Am I too upfront about it?
No. Your look is.
I look like a Christian. What are you talking about? I look like I put a snake. I get the snake bites the whole night.
No, you look like
I look Baptist as hell, dude.
Satanic biker.
No,
I look Christian.
I look like racist Christian biker. I do not look like satanic biker. I look like racist Christian biker.
They don't want, you want clean cut family man Christian, which my Instagram.
Oh, you look like Cash Patel.
You're
Cash Patel.
If you look at my Instagram, it looks like a Christian American. It looks like I am the poster. I've been with the same lady my entire life. One lady.
True.
I'm married with kids. It's all buttoned up. It's just all vacations and Christian living. And I
gotta get fat again, like Jelly Roll.
No, like the fit. Like I'm perfect to put out there as like, hey, this is a Christian guy.
No, but you gotta put some scripture on the bottom.
Well, yeah, I don't know what that is or whatever.
You just go to ChatGPT, take up whatever photo you're doing.
Yeah. But
you put that photo in ChatGPT, say find some scripture that applies to this. You pop it in there.
But does it matter? And if I start going that direction, will people be like, this guy said no one will go back and listen or even do it. Like
no.
Whatever. If you type in ChatGPT, is Tom Van an atheist? Does it know?
That's a good question.
Is Tom Van one of the hosts?
Should I say my business partner?
Yeah. One of the hosts from A Mediocre Time from Tom and Dan. Is he an atheist? Because if ChatGPT doesn't know, then no one knows.
Are you thinking that word's out? Is that what you're like? Oh man, word's out. Tom's an atheist.
Well, if I get into that industry, you can't have ChatGPT knowing these things. Because whatever I said on the show, no one ever.
This is such a ChatGPT answer. If you're asking more like, does he act like one? I can answer that, but I have no way of knowing.
Oh, see, there we go. Ask him if he's a Christian. Say, is Tom Van a Christian man? Because then, because we live in a time where
it only works with info, so it's gonna say no.
Yeah. So
it doesn't know.
So if the internet doesn't know with the search, then you're free. Then you're
free to be a Christian. So you're free to be a fake Christian. Is that what you want to do?
It doesn't matter the 10,000 hours of content I put out because no one will dig that deep. Only search.
The listeners that know you will and say like, "Hey, this man's a fraud." Are you discounting all of them? They don't matter. Only the internet AI matters?
Well, I guess the listeners, they'd have to be cool and be like, hey, yo, keep it up and down. I'm trying to make my money over here.
Hey, yo. You put a Razor Ramon on it. Hey, yo, be cool.
It is weird. Like, if some information is not figured out by a search, then it's almost you're in the clear.
Like,
nowadays.
I think our listeners think we don't think of it.
What?
Well, that's the type of atheism I think that we sort of are.
Right.
Like, I think our listeners think of us as like they just don't think of it.
Yeah, no.
They just
because they
don't-
do. Because
that is
promote
kind
it. Who
of-
cares what you believe?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
want you
my
to be
business.
happy if you enjoy it. Like my mom was diehard Christian and loved it, and it worked for her, and I'm pro that.
Yeah. As long as you just, keep it out of the laws. And,
I don't
in
need
my
that.
business.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
And my alcohol. That's the big one. The Sundays.
Yeah. Keep it
Let
out
me-
of.
let me buy my booze.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't bother me. Anyway.
Yeah, we got to get out of here, buddy.
We will see you tomorrow.
That's an excellent. His setup was fucking amazing. Dear God.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, is that sound? It sounds exactly like our room. Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Logan. You are a nice gentleman. What's next?
That's it that's Wednesday's show. That's tonight's show, and then we're gonna come back and record tomorrow's show, and that's gonna be at 1:00.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to go off now and chill out and do our lunch and whatnot and editing, and we'll see you back here a little bit before.